In this busy and burdensome life, perhaps each of us has felt disoriented, wondering if we are on the right path, or if there is anything really worth pursuing and holding on to. Sometimes, amidst the constant challenges and changes, we feel the pressure weighing down on our shoulders, seemingly with no way out. However, somewhere in the silence of our souls, Buddhism teaches us how to find peace in this life. In today's video, we will explore the journey of overcoming worries and sorrows to find a life of serenity, peace, and leisurely welcoming the sunlight, walking freely in the midst of human life. Let's go through each step, each philosophy, each story that will perhaps help you understand more about true peace, something we often seek outside, but actually lies deep within our own souls. Life is a long series of events. People come and go, leaving us with marks, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. But in Buddhist philosophy, gratitude and letting go are the ways to help us calmly face all those changes. When we are grateful, we will see the precious things around us, from the smallest things, so as not to be immersed in resentment or jealousy. When we know how to let go, our souls are freed from the grip of worries and anxieties. Imagine a simple farmer who does not own much material wealth, but always keeps a deep gratitude in his heart. When the harvest is not as expected, instead of complaining, he chooses to be grateful because he is still healthy enough to start over. Thanks to gratitude and letting go, he can overcome all challenges in life without being hurt or mentally tired. Living in the present is one of the most important ways to reduce suffering and anxiety. We often spend too much time worrying about the future or regretting the past, but we miss the precious moment right in front of us. Buddhism teaches that only when we truly live in the present can we find true peace. An ancient story tells of a teacher who lived in the mountains, famous for his serenity and calmness. One day, a visitor came to him and asked how to maintain peace of mind in the midst of a turbulent life. The teacher quietly poured a cup of tea, invited the visitor to sit down, and said, "Please drink tea." In that moment, the visitor suddenly realized that what is important is how we accept everything with a present state of mind. Like the warm steam of tea, just by enjoying the cup of tea, living in that moment, we have found peace. Life inevitably has times when we have to face hurt, things that make us feel misunderstood, hurt. Buddhism advises that forgiveness and tolerance are the keys to help us free ourselves from those burdens. When we forgive, not only do others benefit, but we ourselves also feel light in our hearts. The story of a beggar who was always shunned by everyone, considered a bad person. One day, a Zen master saw him and invited him to sit down and drink water, asking about his life. The beggar shared about the difficulties he had faced, and the Zen master just smiled, advising him to let go of the hurt that others had caused, to forgive even those who had hurt him. After that day, the beggar felt lighter, his heart gradually opened, and from then on, he lived a more peaceful life. Buddhism teaches us that life is a constant journey of challenges and lessons. To overcome difficulties, it is important to have perseverance and a strong heart, not giving up easily in the face of adversity. There is a saying in Buddhism, "The lotus only blooms in mud," meaning that beauty, purity, can only be revealed when people dare to face challenges and overcome them. There was a monk who went through some very difficult times in the monastery. He had to earn his living by doing hard labor, but he never complained. He shared that it was those difficult times that taught him perseverance, helping him understand that as long as he kept his mind steady, nothing could shake his soul. Over the years, he became a learned teacher with deep compassion, but he never forgot the difficult days that had shaped him. Many people are often tied to the past, letting regrets, mistakes, and failures dominate their present lives. However, Buddhism reminds us that happiness cannot come from the past. Only when we learn to let go, accept, and forgive ourselves can we truly move forward and live a peaceful life. There is a story about a monk carrying a very heavy sack on the road. When a passerby asked him why he had to carry it, the monk replied, "These are the burdens I choose to carry, but they are also the ones that keep me from going far." This reminds us that many times we tie ourselves up with unnecessary troubles, and if we are brave enough to let go, life will become lighter. Buddhism promotes compassion, considering it one of the most important virtues to live a meaningful life. Compassion is not only love for others, but also the way we treat ourselves with tolerance and acceptance. A compassionate person will not easily get angry or jealous, but instead, they know how to forgive and love, even when faced with difficult situations. There is a story about the Buddha when he met a thief. Instead of scolding, he smiled, asked, and understood the situation of the thief. With compassion and understanding, the Buddha helped the person realize his mistake without feeling offended or ashamed. This story is proof that when we treat others with compassion, we not only help them change, but also help ourselves become more peaceful. Life is a continuous flow of change. People come and go. There is joy, and there is sadness. Buddhism advises us that only when we accept these truths can we live peacefully. Acceptance does not mean giving up, but is a way for us to see clearly the nature of life, so as not to get lost in unreal illusions. A Zen master once said, "Like water, this life will always flow, and if you try to hold on, you will only hurt yourself." This teaching reminds us that when we let go of our attachments and accept things as they are, we will feel lightness and peace from within our souls. In life, things don't always go as planned. Difficulties, failures, and sometimes criticism from others are inevitable. Buddhism teaches us that patience does not mean negative endurance, but is a way to cultivate patience, helping the mind to be calm and clear when facing challenges. The story of a monk who was meditating and was criticized and insulted by a stranger. Instead of getting angry, the monk just smiled and listened calmly, letting the insults pass him by. When the person left, a disciple asked why he didn't react. The monk replied, "When I don't accept those words, they become meaningless." This teaching shows that sometimes calmness is the most profound answer. In life, everyone wants to be happy, but happiness cannot be achieved by accumulating or keeping it for oneself. Buddhism teaches that true wealth lies in kindness and the ability to give without expecting anything in return. When we give, we also receive joy and peace from what we give. The Buddhist story tells of a poor woman who had only a little rice to eat every day. However, when she saw a hungry beggar, she did not hesitate to share her food. This simple act not only helped others, but also helped her feel the deep happiness of kindness. Thanks to that, she created good karma, bringing lasting happiness more than material wealth. Through all the above lessons, we can see that peace does not come from the outside, but from our own soul. Buddhism teaches that everyone can find serenity by knowing how to love, forgive, let go, and live simply. This life is a short journey, and we should live so that our souls are always light and free. When we look back on our life experiences, we will see that what remains is not material wealth, but spiritual values, relationships, and experiences that have helped us grow. A peaceful life is not without challenges, but how we overcome challenges with a peaceful and grateful mind. Therefore, live each moment as if it were the last gift of life. Cherish the people around you, and always keep your soul in constant peace. Buddhism emphasizes that true freedom does not lie in how much wealth, power, or fame you have. but in the ability to keep your mind undisturbed by external circumstances. When we learn not to let praise, criticism, or external events have too much impact on our minds, we will achieve true freedom. A Zen master was attacked by others, but he kept a gentle smile, not letting his mind be affected. He explained that when the mind is free, not affected by external circumstances, we will always maintain serenity and happiness. In Buddhism, knowing oneself is a key factor in achieving enlightenment. This means understanding one's true nature, accepting one's strengths and weaknesses, and not letting one's ego control one's life. Understanding oneself helps one live a life of ease, reducing the suffering caused by comparison and jealousy with others. The story is about a young man who always pursued external success to affirm himself, until he met a monk who advised him to know yourself instead of seeking validation from others. From there, he began a journey of self-discovery, and through it, he found inner peace. Buddhism sees wisdom and compassion as two wings to attain enlightenment. Wisdom helps us see the true nature of things and avoid illusions, while compassion helps us live with love and understanding. When these two qualities combine, we will have a meaningful and happy life. An intelligent person without compassion will easily become lonely, while a compassionate person without wisdom can be exploited. Therefore, we need to balance both to live a full and complete life. Buddhism teaches that life is impermanent. Nothing is permanent. When we realize and accept this impermanence, we will easily let go and not cling to things that cannot be kept forever. Accepting impermanence helps us look at life more gently, appreciate the present, and not live in anxiety about the future. There is a story about a Zen master who planted a flower and took care of it every day. When the flower withered, instead of being sad, he smiled and said, "That is the law of nature." Thanks to that, he never suffered because of change, but always cherished every moment. Modern life is full of temptations and invitations, but Buddhism reminds us that living simply will bring deeper happiness. When we know enough, do not chase after material desires. The soul will be lighter, and we will not be caught up in unnecessary stress. A Zen master only has a few sets of clothes and lives with the most necessary things. Yet, he was always filled with joy and serenity. For him, happiness did not lie in wealth, but in simplicity and inner freedom. Buddhism teaches that everyone has Buddha nature, and therefore, we should treat each other with respect and equality. When we do not discriminate, do not let our ego obscure, we will find harmony and peace. The story of the Buddha, when he treated all living beings, from a prince to a beggar, with the same compassion. This not only helped him spread love, but also helped him maintain peace of mind. Buddhism advises us not to avoid suffering, but to learn to transform it into lessons for growth. Suffering can be a driving force to help us develop wisdom and compassion if we know how to look at it. The Buddhist story is about a woman who lost her child. Suffering, she went to the Buddha, who advised her to find a seed from a family that had not experienced loss. After searching everywhere without finding it, she realized that suffering is something that everyone has to go through. This helped her accept and overcome her pain. Gratitude is one of the important qualities that help us live happily and peacefully. When we are grateful, we will see that life is more complete, without too many needs or desires. Moreover, gratitude helps us live in harmony with everyone and reduce selfishness. A Zen master said that every morning he wakes up and spends a few minutes to thank life, thank his presence, and the people around him. This not only brings him joy, but also helps him live in a state of serenity every day. We often find it easy to forgive others, but difficult to forgive ourselves. Buddhism reminds us that no one is perfect, and every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. When we forgive ourselves, we feel lighter and can continue our journey with a peaceful mind. There was a man who regretted his past mistakes. When he met a monk, he was advised, "Forgive yourself and use the lessons from your mistakes to become a better person." From then on, he felt his soul was liberated, no longer burdened by the past. Buddhism teaches that all beings are connected in an endless cycle of reincarnation. This means that our actions, words, and thoughts have an impact on others. When we understand this connection, we will live more responsibly, lovingly, and respectfully. A Buddhist story tells of a Zen master who always reminded his students, "When you harm others, you also harm yourself, because everything is connected." This story reminds us that when we do good, not only others, but we ourselves also receive joy and peace.